but I know you have questions about something. All right,
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. And I'm trying to get, not too big a hurry. Is Mr. Mills here? There you are, I couldn't see you.
All right, so good afternoon. We have one application coming for you. It's for Lee's Restaurant Tuscaloosa LLC, DBA Asia Buffet. They're applying for a restaurant retail liquor license located at 1320 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite 710. Hours of operation will be Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. This is an area view of the location, followed by the zoning map, as well as adjacent business located near it. This is a proposed floor plan and the menu. Occupancy load is going to be 298 people. There were no incidents reported by Tuscaloosa Police Department, and Tuscaloosa Police Department did not have any objections with this application.
You got, committee, y'all have any questions about this?
No further.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right, we have a discussion planned here regarding the personnel board action provisions and the job description for government relations, external affairs, and crisis communications position. I believe y'all have a, you have a,
Can I?
please go ahead.
I appreciate y'all having this, and Mayor, you had mentioned this anticipated move to us relatively informally some time ago. It just struck me more starkly when I saw it on paper, and so it then occurred to me that again, after 5, 6, however long I've been here, I don't fully understand this process, and I thought this would be a good, a useful way to work it out so that I do. So I think Mr. Holmes, you're prepared. LaShonda, you're prepared. Do we have anybody from the personnel board here?
Well, I wasn't sure exactly. I saw the agenda item and very excited to be able to share this with you. What I've done is prepared you a memorandum. The personnel board really doesn't interact with the hiring or assignment process. They are responsible for the promotions of police and firefighters, and they're also the disciplinary board.
Okay. So learning point number one
Yes.
accomplished.
Yeah. So I've prepared. I wasn't quite sure exactly what you're looking for, so I've attached a number of attachments as well to this. But the first sentence really is what I would think, if you remember anything from my discussion with you about this, is that mayoral assignments of city employees are legal, rare, and only utilized when circumstances require. You see in the overview really the reasoning behind the assignment of Dr. Rush to government relations, external relations, and crisis communication. I won't bore you with that. It deals with our greatest legislative challenge, which is SSUT. I think probably the thing that you're most interested in is what gives the authority of the
What
mayor.
I'm interested in is the process rather, I mean, the merits or non-merits of this particular move are relatively, I'm not interested. I want to understand what is the governing authoritative document that tells us this is what is required to assign, change, or create a job class specification.
I think
That'll get us started.
And I think what you will see is on page 2. This authority is derived from Alabama Code 11-44B-7 in parentheses 1. And under this authority, it gives me the ability as chief executive officer to control the affairs of the city, except as otherwise provided by state law or local law. And there is no state law or local law that prevents me from the assignment of personnel as long as it's within the scope and description of their job description. So as long as I do not do anything which is in violation of their job description and the money is budgeted, then I have the authority to assign personnel. It is rare. I can give you the most recent example before this would be Audrey Buck, Savings Center Director. A very rare example of a unique situation that comes to the city. Now, I do this a little bit, although I would say it's a more oranges to apples comparison during an emergency. Let's say a tornado or an event or something like that. I may assign Scott Holmes to be incident commander to deal with the situation of X, Y, or Z. Again, that comes under my authority as mayor of the city of Tuscaloosa. So that authority is derived from that state code. And I've included the code section in your attachment as well. And so, Scott, I would ask you to echo, because the one thing I would not want to do is do anything that is not, or say something that wasn't in accordance with state act or local code.
So maybe a question that arises from what you talked about, Mayor, can segue us into that. So, Mayor, you said that authority is contained in Alabama that assigns the mayor the authority to take care of the city.
Yes, sir.
But we obviously know that in the execution of that, some things require no council approval, no intervention by council. We can name numerous of those, right? But some things require council approval. What defines that?
So let me start.
I mean, did I summarize it?
Yes, sir. No, it's the reason my department exists in a lot of ways. So larger picture is mayor is CEO. He is over all of the employees, the general operation, the day-to-day, those things. Make sure the city runs along. The council is legislative authority, and really where the rubber meets the road, and a lot of that legislative authority is obviously purse strings. It's obviously approving different portions throughout different job processes, and Ms. Herbert can probably speak to that better than I could. There are this is all the law that governs this, or not all the law, but this is a good chunk of what governs the city of Tuscaloosa. And so it's largely built in, here's a bunch of authority, here are a couple areas that dial back that authority. And so, for instance, the mayor's authority over personnel is curtailed by the Personnel Act, in which if he decides that he just doesn't like me anymore, he can't send me home and I don't have a job anymore. There are steps through the disciplinary process, offenses, rights that each employee has, and ultimately to go before the personnel board. There are other aspects. It's one of those things that it's not possible to say, here you go, Mr. Busby, here are all the rules, because every situation has to be looked at and is usually a fact-driven situation in which my office takes whatever the facts are, whatever the question is, and applies any applicable law.
And I think again, I think I included a section, it's on page 3, about checks and balances, because we operate under this, because the thing, if I were sitting in your chair, and I've been on the city council, so I have an idea of what it's like, is what keeps the mayor from just making assignments across the board, and therefore circumventing the idea of going through job descriptions, going through approvals, etc. The reason why assignments are so rare is because there's very few times you can assign someone within the scope of their job description. So it's a very rare occurrence that you have an opportunity to do that. The second thing is that normally a position that even through assignment that's going to be needed is going to need resources. The resources include their pay and salary, their whatever they need to operate. It has to be authorized by the city council. and you hold the power of the purse. And ultimately, if you felt like an assignment of a person, an employee, was not the right decision for the city, you have the ability of the city council to defund that position. So that is your check and balance. Mayor, we don't think whoever's mayor. Mayor, we don't think that position is needed. City council says position, we are going to defund that by resolution from the mayor, from the city's budget. That is the check and balance that under code that gives you the ability to address or remedy the situation if you felt it wasn't in the best interest of the city.
But long story short, it's kind of like a board, and I serve on a lot of boards. Our job is policy and funding. The mayor's job is to run the city and appoint personnel.
Yeah, I'm glad that's his job, not mine.
Personnel issue, that's it.
My question related to, obviously, Mayor, can you create a job classification?
No.
Okay, so that process of creating a job class specification, and then, Ms. Everett, I assume there's some work that goes into figuring out, all right, where on the pay scale is that plugged, right?
Yes.
And an assignment. In this case, has a job class specification been created for, what's the title, Mayor?
Governmental, external.
Governmental, External Affairs, and Crisis Communication.
No, it has not. Oh, I'm sorry. And if I can make one point, I brought the job description for Executive Director of
Strategic Communication.
And if you go through the job description, you see that embedded in the job description are such duties as serves as advisor to the mayor regarding communication outreach, public and media relations, completes special and ongoing projects, and a task is assigned by the mayor. Serves as a member of the city's senior management team and participates actively in addressing issues of concerns to the city. Meets with key staff to identify, resolve problems, develop and implement incident and crisis communication plans and activities. Represents the office of the mayor to other departments, elected officials, external agencies and organizations, participates in a variety of boards, commissions, and committees, and interacts with external agencies and organizations. Serves as spokesperson for the city of Tuscaloosa and including the office of the mayor, special events, etc. Communicates with citizens, community leaders, elected officials, city's department, and other partners to coordinate efforts in accordance with the city's department and goals. So within Dr. Rush's existing job description were these duties already embedded, and knowing, for my rationale, knowing that SSUT is the biggest challenge we have to solve, and like Huntsville, Birmingham, Mobile, we needed someone as a point person every day on the legislative side to be able to address it. I also was very cognizant of we don't want to add a position. And that's why I'm recommending in my fiscal 26 budget that we eliminate the Deputy Director of Strategic Comms and the Executive Secretary. If the council agrees to do that, the net savings by these moves, including hiring Richard's replacement, Richard moving to that position, the net savings for the city is $44,000 in perpetual cost savings moving forward.
So are we gonna hire somebody to replace him in that strategic?
Yes, sir.
It's already been advertised now, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're interviewing for it. So if you
Then how does that, I can't get to where we have not created a new job description if the, and I'm trying. And again, this has nothing to do with the merit of the move. But if we've taken a department head, correct?
Mhm.
And we've assigned him to, that clause you read about special projects, I'm assuming that's a part of the justification for, if we've done that, but now we're going to hire somebody to fill the vacancy left when we did that, how have we not created a new job class specification?
Because Dr. Rush is going to be working in that existing job description that we already have that's adopted by the city council.
For external governmental affairs and crisis communication? Huh?
Yes, sir. So-
Okay,
So-
now there's more like, okay,
Yes,
but
sir.
we haven't filled that. It hasn't been filled, right? previously.
The
Huh?
government relations and external affairs, that is a part of the executive director of strategic communications job classification, that assignment.
Okay.
So my
But
question,
If
I
the
may.
rationale we're using is that's a part of it, but now we're hiring, I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead.
My question, so you're just taking, and I don't understand really, that part of his job assignment, and that's all he's gonna do now, right?
Correct.
Okay, he's taking his administrative part away.
Correct.
Okay, and you're gonna put somebody else in the administrative part.
Correct.
Will that person have some of those duties?
Very little, if any. If there are any duties that would be in support of what Dr. Rush may need. If he needed a particular digital format for something, certainly they would work with him on that.
It's just communications now, right?
That's correct. And again, I want to underline this. This is a cost savings for the city of Tuscaloosa of $44,000, because when we had the resignation of the deputy director, it really set in place for an opportunity for us to be able to effectuate these moves, put in place a cost savings, and also really work on probably our greatest challenge for the next few years, and put him in the right seat on the bus too. I think he's extremely gifted to be able to take on this challenge.
Any other questions? Joe? Kip? You have anything else? Go ahead, please.
I'm sick of hearing myself. I know y'all are sick of hearing. I will thank you all for the opportunity to begin my education on it, and I appreciate the
And
time.
we'll have time to talk.
And
about it.
please, there is we put some supporting documents
Yeah, I
there.
saw that.
Please review.
All right, anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in